Good morning, Anarchy Land. This is Tracy, and we are going to start a new series. It's a series called America. How free are we? We're going to look at a variety of governing styles. We're going to look at why these things have failed in some countries and succeeded in others. And let's go. All my life, I was always told that communism and socialism are the same thing spelled different. Well, they're not. Nor are they bloodthirsty killers. Yes, there have been people who were bloodthirsty killers get in and use these governing styles to carry out their carnage. Just like we have. We currently have a system. We'll go over that more in the next video, where there have been so many presidents who gave in to the money masters and committed horrific crimes. This is just the way it is with these people. So let's start with a republic. A republic, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, is where the people rule. Not the government, but the people. Which means if an elected official does something people don't like, they can recall them. Now, let's think about this a little bit more. Do we actually have a republic? Think about, how did our last round of elections go? You had two people representing two different parties, which, hello, we have over 20 different brands of coffee in the store, but we can only have two political parties. What? Anyway, you had two oligarchs representing what it's supposed to represent two different parties, but they're not. They're one party with two different labels. Let's face it. One was less despised than the other one. That one won. There you go. I don't really call that a republic. It's really strange. As poor as Greece is, they have more parties than we do. And, but we can't have more than two parties. Anyway, moving on to democracy. According to Merriam-Webster dictionary, this again is a governing of people by people for people. And I was also told growing up we had a democracy. Which is it? Republic, democracy. I don't think it's either one. Now, socialism. Merriam-Webster defines this as government ownership of everything. Well, let's think about this a little more. In 2008, the banks nearly went under and took everybody with them. Who bailed them out? The government. So technically, you and I should own these banks, because it was our tax dollars that bailed them out, right? No, we don't. Alright. Now, we've been told for years that socialism doesn't work, it always fails. No. No, it does not always fail. For example, Finland. They are a democratic socialist country, meaning that they have aspects of a republic, and yet they have aspects of socialist. Their taxes they pay go to their insurance. So they are actually benefiting from cradle to grave from their taxes. They can own a business, okay? In socialism, you can independently own a business. You pay taxes, of course, but what else is new, right? And so Finland is a perfect example of a country that has merged these two things. Let's move on to communism. It's a system of distributing goods where they are needed, not wanted, according to Merriam Dictionary. Now, this system was based on Karl Marx's theory that when you overthrow capitalists, you have a just system. Now, Karl Marx was not a government official. His background was not in politics. It was in law and economy. He was what we would call an economist. This is something you never, ever taught in school. Now, what have communists done right? We already know what they've done wrong with Stalin. But according to Communists, the Promise and Reality Red Flag series, part of that series, I'm going to give you a link to go over and watch it. It's pretty good. Students such as Anastasia Denisova went to the countryside. They did polls to see who could read and write, and the ones who couldn't do either were taught to. This was repeated in China and Cuba. And of course in China, communists did that, and they also stopped the foot binding that was done to women. Now, fascist. Webster says it's a system with a dictator. Here's where things get complicated. Now, this is the direction we have been marching in. We have been marching in this direction, unbeknownst to us, for years. Now, where is an example of it currently? According to the World Population Review, Brazil, a country that is a very close ally in South America of ours. Okay, we're going to get more into this next video. All I'm saying is birds of a feather, people. Birds of the same feathers will always flock together. Okay, so during the Great Depression, 1930s rather, we had two critical events happen at one time. Great Depression and the Dust Bowls in the Midwest. These Dust Bowls were like the wrath of God. They were horrific. Now, according to the book, we had Everything But Money. I'll share a story from that chapter 2 tomorrow. FDR created two programs. WPA, Workers' Progress Administration. That was dissolved in 1943 because it was no longer needed. Then you had the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, which are still operating. They take care of the forests and all that type of stuff. Now, these programs got people back to work. And there is actually a chapter in the book on people who went through these programs. There were some young men that went to the Civilian Conservation Corps, and it prepared them for life in the military. So when you hear people say that those programs accomplish nothing, that's wrong. That is completely wrong. Now, the reason we have been told for so many years that the communist and socialist parties are evil and they need to be ended everywhere was because when FDR became president, he was told by the communist and socialist parties of America that if he did not want a revolution here that happened in Russia in 1917, and that wasn't even 20 years out. This was still fresh in their memories. then he had better do something as far as getting food, housing, jobs. Jobs were the main thing. He had to tax himself and his friends 100% because nobody else had the money. The government didn't have money. All his friends had the money. They were taxed 100% and they did not like it. So they spent years and years afterwards convincing us, effectively I will say, that communism and socialism is bad. Now this brings us to the end of this part. I will post a written somewhat transcript, and I hope you guys will go and look at the links and take time to watch this series, Communism, the Promise and Reality, on YouTube. I'm going to give you a link to it. It's a wonderful series. It's fantastic. And I will see you tomorrow when we talk about another story from the book We Had Everything But Money.